Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be checking out the HeMan and the Masters of the Universe motorcycles. Man, when they first released the press release and showed the pictures of HeMan and Skeletor on straight up motorcycles, like I laughed and thought it was so silly. But then I was also like, man, how metal is that, right? Big old barbarian and Skeletor guy riding on their hogs across Eternia to do battle. I don't know. There's something just so silly about it. Of course, if you've seen the new series, they didn't even get on these things in the show. So I think they were just made for the toys. But you know what? This one right here clearly is inspired by the vintage Road Ripper, and they're calling it the Ground Ripper. Now, that must be some sort of copyright deal, because they also called it the Ground Ripper in the Mini Masters line. So this is definitely the Road Ripper. The vintage Road Ripper had 3 wheels, so I guess it was a trike. So now it's a motorcycle. And then we've got Skeletor on Painthor. Yes, Painthor. And it's a Panthro-themed bike. I mean, come on. These are so ridiculous. They come in open boxes here, so you can fully see the figures and the motorcycles, and you can touch them in the packaging. The colors are a bit different on the figures themselves than the standard releases. Let's get these goofy things out of the boxes. We're going to check them out. Oh, yeah. We got HeMan on his Road Ripper, and we've got Skeletor on his Painthor. These are ridiculous, but in the best kind of way. So let's take a look at these guys. All right, Skeletor, we're going to see you in a second. We're going to go ahead and start by taking a look at HeMan on his bike right here. So, a lot of things to talk about here, actually. Let's go ahead and first talk about the fact that, yes, the figures are removable. And I only say that because when I first saw the early press images and the fact that they're packaged on the bikes in the box, it made me wonder if they were actually removable figures. So yes, the figures are removable. So we can pop HeMan off the bike there and check it out. He does have the power sword. You see how it's clipped onto the side of the bike? There's actually a little hole right there that you can attach it to when he's riding his bike. And otherwise, the figure itself is exactly the same as the first release HeMan figure in this line, with the big difference being the colors on this guy. So if you stand them side by side, you can see the differences, but aside from that, the figure is exactly the same. He has the same articulation. He still retains all of the Power Punch action features. So this time around, the colors are very similar to that of the original HeMan. He's got the orange wrist bracers, he's wearing the silver harness with the red emblem in the middle, and even his boots are like that kind of maroon brown color. The biggest difference is that he's wearing like this brown bodysuit underneath all that, and I don't like that. It's poop brown, and it looks kind of weird. Man, if he wasn't wearing that, and he had like brown on his belt and loincloth, that would have been an awesome homage to vintage HeMan, but instead they left that bodysuit on, and it's the only part of this that I don't really like. Otherwise, the colors are pretty cool because they're definitely trying to give us a nod to the original vintage HeMan. Now, the power sword is the same power sword that came with the other figure, but this time there's no paint and it's molded in bright yellow. I assume it's because it came out of the same mold as some of the yellow stuff on the bike itself, but ugh, what an ugly bright yellow power sword we have here. It would have been cool if it was like molded in the same gray, silvery gray of his armor there, because then that would have given us a straight silver power sword like the vintage toy, but it is what it is. All right, so the bike itself. So one thing I want to talk about with these bikes is the fact that they are super lightweight. I mean, this thing is very hollow plastic. It is, it's nice feeling plastic. It doesn't feel cheap. It just feels really, really hollow and really lightweight. I kind of wish there was a little bit more substance to it. The wheels are also plastic and hollow. So the figures themselves definitely feel a lot better and a lot more sturdy than the actual bikes here. Now, I will say the bikes roll really nice, and it stands on its own. You can see it's balanced by these little kind of fake wheels down here in the middle. so it kind of stands there pretty nicely, and He-Man sits very nicely on it, and he can grip onto the handles there. So you can have him riding it holding the sword, or you can put the sword over here in this slot, or you can attach it to his back just like the other figure. The handlebars turn so that it's easy for him to grip. And, I mean, check it out. He actually looks really cool riding on his Ground Ripper or Road Ripper, because it is inspired by this guy. Boom. Oh, check it out. It's OG He-Man. Oh, he's coming in with his approval. Oh, dig your ride, bro. There you go. I guess that was a quick drive-by comparison time. All right, Skeletor's back in here with his hog, or his paint throw. So let's go ahead and pull Skeletor off his bike here. You'll notice that I got the Havoc Staff in the back here. There's like this slot on the back of the bike, so you can slide the Havoc Staff in there. It's cool because it almost looks like a ripcord, like on a vintage toy. That, of course, is not what it is. His bike is designed very different, but I really, really love it. Again, it's like a hollow plastic, but I love the purple. Love that it is a clear homage to Painthor, which is really cool. I think I called it Painthor. Painthor is what the bike is actually called. This is not a Thundercat. It's got these bright green hollow plastic wheels. The whole thing is like a hollow plastic, so very lightweight, but it does balance. Looks pretty good. And then the Skeletor figure, just like the He-Man, it's the exact same Skeletor we already got released with some color differences. The Havoc Staff is actually more purpley. In fact, here, let me bring in, this is just the standard release Skeletor, but I specifically want to compare the Havoc Staffs. Like the one that comes with the bike has a bit more of a purple color to it. This one's got more of like a flat dark blue color to it compared to this more purple. So that's really interesting. But otherwise, it's still the hollowed out Havoc Staff, same staff. The Skeletor's colors are very interesting. So he's got this bright yellow face, bright yellow hand. He's wearing a black suit and his armor is gold and purple. This almost looks like Disco Skeletor. That cannot be an accident. He is almost the same colors as that wild variant from the 2002 line that has kind of got cult status at this point. Basically, this is Disco Skeletor, and I love him for that. Hey, all right, and well, that's pretty much it, my friends. These are the first vehicles in this brand new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe line, and while both of them are obvious homages to classic toys, being Skeletor's steed Painthor and He-Man's Road Ripper vehicle, these are just straight up motorcycles, and that's kind of a first, I think, for the He-Man, at least for the toys. They're very interesting, and like I said, they didn't really appear in the cartoon, I don't think, unless I totally missed it. Maybe there's something coming up, or maybe they purely created them to have some fun toys. They are fun, and it's a cool way to get some variants of He-Man and Skeletor. I can definitely see these not necessarily being high on the list for the collectors, but hey, kids always love this kind of stuff, and I believe they're the target audience, so more power to them. So these are starting to hit store shelves right now. I actually found both of these at Walmart, and these are at the $19.99 price point. So hey, for $20, you get a figure and a vehicle, albeit a lightweight hollow vehicle, but figure and a vehicle for $20. So hitting store shelves right now. Happy hunting. Thank you for watching, and until next time, my friends.